Now, we talk about him every week. He probably generates more mail and debate than almost any other British boxer. I am, of course, talking about Amir Khan, and I'm delighted to say he's with us in the studio right now. Amir, welcome to the show, finally.
Thanks. Yeah.
That'll make one or two of your fans happy.
Oh, definitely. You know, I always watch the show, and we sit there with a few friends and my family, and I enjoy it. You know, it's a brilliant show.
It's a good time for you to be on as well, because this man could be a world champion in 2 months' time.
Yeah, we hope so. We hope so.
Definitely.
You don't, when you watch the show, you don't throw things at me if I say anything
No,
nasty.
I don't. No. You know, it's good. Everyone's got their opinions and everything, and you know, I enjoy it. You know, it's good.
Listen, we'll talk a little bit. We're going to go through, talk about as much as we can, because we know you're going to America soon, aren't you? Back
Tomorrow morning.
But you're going back to Freddie, so we won't see you until the week of the fight. I'm glad it's at the O2. I like the O2, man.
Yeah.
Now, I want to talk a bit about going up in weight. When did you first think about going up to light welter?
Well, you know, the lightweight division, I'm a very big lightweight, to be honest with you, and I get to 10 stone quite easily, and it's the last 4 or 5 pounds which start getting harder, and it was just this fight when Frank said, what do you think about fighting for a world title against Kotelnik? You know, the lightweight division's all over the place. You know, you've got people moving up and down, and to be honest with you, I'll be honest, I wouldn't fight someone like Marquez at this moment of time, because he's at his peak. I've not hit my peak yet, and I want to have a few more fights to fight someone like him.
That makes sense.
It's sensible, yeah.
But,
and also there was a traffic jam with Marquez, wasn't there?
That's right.
You might have had to wait a year or something.
Exactly, you know, you have to wait a lot longer, so the option was, you know, what do you think about moving up a weight and fighting Kotelnik? And Kotelnik, you know, he's not the best of the world champions. He's a great world champion. You know, whoever's a world champion, he's a great fighter. But, you know, it's an easier route, and I don't have to wait maybe a year or so. So it's there.
And I think that's some of the criticism that you've got. I think people miss the fact that you were honest to say it is an easier route. You know,
right.
I'm not ready for Marquez yet. This is an easier route, but he's still a champion. He got a silver medal. You know,
That's right.
Still, you know, he's fighting at that level. He's not come from nowhere.
Exactly.
Now, was Freddie also a factor in you moving up? Because Freddie had told me about 6 months ago that he was watching your weight. He wanted to make sure you could do lightweight comfortably.
Yeah, we make lightweight, you know, no matter what. I'm a dedicated fighter. I make the lightweight division, lightweight weight and stuff. But the light welterweight, he just said to me, look at me here. He goes, you're a big lightweight. What do you think about moving up? You hit hard, you're quick. And I think, you know, you'll feel a lot stronger because you'll be making the weight a lot easier. I'll blend in well. So
you look at it in the training for the next 6 weeks. Do you think it'll be easier for you, dietary-wise,
right.
and just living-wise?
That's right. You know, it'll be, you know, less. My mind will be less off the weight. I'll be focusing on more different things. I could work on a bit more power. The speed's always going to be there, and you know, I'm with one of the best trainers in the world, and you know, he's happy with the move.
He says about you, Freddie Roach says that you are like a freak in the gym, says you are the best he's ever had in the gym, and he's been with some big guys. You saw him with Bernard Hopkins there. He's got Manny Pack right now. Yeah. But he says in the gym, work put, and he says you are the best.
Well, you know, when he gets into training, you know, I give it all. You know, when I used to spar with Manny Pacquiao, I used to give it all. There were some spars that used to get the better of him, some spars that he got the better of me, and Freddie couldn't believe that. He said, you are, you know, like an animal. But that's what makes you good. You know, I train so hard. I train like a challenger, and I hope that's going to get me far in life.
But Freddie also knows to pull you back. And do you think, looking back on last year, was it sort of an up and down year, excuse the expression,
Yeah.
that's not meant to be a joke. Do you think that perhaps you did lose a little bit in the gym? Do you think you maybe left something in the gym in the build-up to make the Gomez fight, and especially the Prescott fight?
True, you know, I think I was too big in body weight. You know, too muscular, doing too much weight training. Boxing wasn't as much, but concentrating more on strength work. And you can see the difference in size since I've gone to USA and
the pictures of your shoulders.
You can see my shoulders have come down, making the weight a lot easier. The legs have got thicker. I've been doing a lot of leg work, and you know, it's made me a better fighter. It's made me even faster. But yeah, I think I did leave a lot in the gym them days, and you know, it's all experience.
I wonder, Steve, no one likes to lose, but could the Prescott defeat be the best thing that actually ever happened to Amir? Because that was what put him on the road to getting Freddie Roach, which is what.
Yeah, I mean, it's you know, it's easy for us to say from the outside, oh, that's going to make him a fighter.
Yeah.
You know, listen, it's no fun losing in front of a lot of people.
That's right.
Especially like that. But I think I mean, would it be fair to say that after that fight, you sat back and you had to take a long, hard, really serious look?
You know, when you're winning fights, and what happens is you forget about the bad things. You always think about the good things. Oh, I've won the fight. Forget about the bad points. But when I lost against Prescott, we sat around the table with the team, and I said, look, I don't like this. I don't like that, and I want to get away from everything so I can concentrate and get away from all the distractions. And that's what I've done now. I've moved to LA with Freddie Roach, and so much goods come from the defeat, you know. I think it's a blessing in disguise.
What about now? You were talking not too long ago about possibly, you know, you'd like to fight Prescott again. Do you feel that that's something that you've got to do? Because a lot of the viewers, you know, sending an email saying he's got to fight Prescott.
That's right.
Is that something that you feel you've got to do at some stage?
Well, if it's up to me, I have to do it. You know, no matter what, I can't leave the sport without beating Prescott. It's one of them things, you know, I think about every day, and I'm not going to avoid him. You know, that fight has to happen, and I want to prove to everyone and prove to myself, you know, I know I can beat this guy. It was just a bad day. I got beat, and I'm going to come back stronger from it.
So is that what are you suggesting that Prescott might come up, or are you thinking if you beat Kotelnik, we'll talk about Kotelnik in detail in a minute, are you thinking you would drop back down to lightweight? I mean,
I like to,
in your heart of hearts?
Yeah, I like to defend the, well, win the title hopefully, and then I like to defend it a couple of times, and then move back down to lightweight for probably one fight, and then come back up. You know, I like to be it's good you could be a two-weight world champion in a matter of a year or year and a half.
But you're still only a baby. I mean, what about if you went up one more weight? I mean, height-wise, shape-wise, you could easily go up.
That's right,
you could easily go up another weight.
I'll speak to Freddie, and he was having a laugh, you know, before the Barrow fight in the hotel, and he said you're a big lightweight, you'll be a perfect shape for like welterweight and even welterweight. You're tall, you're lean, and just bulk up a little bit, and you'll be a good welterweight. That'll come in time.
Because what's the most you swell up to? Let's say you really hit your mum's cooking, right? You're not boxing for 6 weeks. What's the most you swell up to?
10.5 and a bit, 10.5, just touching 10.6 or
so nothing really.
Nothing really. You know, it's not as bad as.
But you're still only, you're still only a baby.
Still only a baby, so it's easy. Metabolism's running quick.
Talk about Amir being a baby. What about mentally for you? Because when you were coming through the ranks after the Olympics, everyone loved you. All the praise, it was all positive. All of a sudden you become popular, you start winning things.
You get critics.
People start to criticise and knock you. Has that been hard for you to take?
Oh, no, you know, it just motivates me. It just gives me that extra push in the gym. You know, I go to the gym and I train a lot harder and try a lot harder. You know, if everyone's on your side and saying, oh, you're this, you're the best, and then, you know, it's going to get to your head. But when there's critics out there, you know, it makes you train harder because you know you have to prove people wrong.
Well, the critics fall into different groups. Yeah. You know, I've been critical of Amir in the past, and I've had run-ins with Amir, with his dad, not with his dad, his dad's lovely, but with Asif and Tad, you know, and I've also had compliments from them.
Exactly.
So it's a twofold thing. But, you know, I was looking online before we came on air, and there were people on there. You had to have a bit of a row with a couple of people on a couple of websites before you came on, saying, you know, this is outrageous. You know, people saying, you know, he's this, he's that. So that would annoy me when people are just saying things that are just blatantly not true. I mean, I think you've summed up the move to Kotelnik. Yeah. It's an easier route at the moment.
At the moment, exactly. You know, and you know, no world champions are a rubbish fighter. They're all great fighters.
Hey, we saw him against Gavin Rees here. I mean,
he beat Gavin Rees. He's beaten some good fighters.
Yes.
You know, against Suleiman and Bear, he was a great fighter. He got a draw out of him. So and he's never been knocked out.
Never been knocked out. Now, Junior Witter has said that he fancies Kotelnik to beat you, which is Junior's entitled.
I've seen the fight against Kotelnik and Junior Witter, and to be honest with you, I thought Kotelnik beat him. You know, it was a very close fight, and I give it Kotelnik.
It was a close fight, man.
You know, it was a close fight, and I really thought Kotelnik beat him. But the job I'm going to do to Kotelnik, you know, I'm going to beat him convincingly, and it's not all about just winning the fight. It's about winning it in a good style and in a good fashion, so you prove to people, you know, you beat him clearly.
Do you think about people like Junior Witter bring your name into the equation? Because if they can get a fight with you, it puts their name in the main event. Because you get thrown in everywhere. You mentioned people, John Thaxton, John Murray, all these names that get thrown.
Nail on the head there. That's what happens in boxing.
And that's the way it works. And if Junior Witter, if Amir beats Kotelnik and Junior Witter and his people can do a deal with Amir and his people, then the fight will happen. You know, fights. The only reason fights don't happen, and I always say it on this show, people say to me, oh, Bunce, you're avoiding the truth. The only reason fights don't happen is because people can't agree a deal. It's not because he's scared of him or she's scared of her. It's because you can't agree a deal, man.
If you thought everybody that threw your name out there, you'd be fighting twice a month for the next 3 years.
Exactly, and that's what happens.
And if every fight was 5 million quid, who cares?
Who cares, exactly. And, you know, I'm one of them fighters as well. You know, I've never said no to anyone. When the Barrow name was mentioned, Frank just mentioned it, and I was jumping on Frank saying, Frank, get the fight on. And he said, are you sure? You know, because of the defeat, and so you've only had one fight against Fagan, who wasn't as good as Barrera, but, you know, it was a decent opponent at that time. Could comeback fight. And are you sure you're ready for a big step up? We can do it, or maybe 1 or 2 fights along the line. I said, look, no, I think this is the best time to have it. And I had all the press there, and they were saying, look, you've got some bottle to take that fight on. And, you know, I'd fight anyone, you know, the John Murrays and the John Thaxtons. I've tried, but, you know, like you said, it's the deal. The deal was made.
And that's, you know, that's an argument, Andy. You know how many times I've had that argument.
Cash common sense.
It's cash common sense, you know. I mean, and also the other point I made when this fight was announced, I said that, you know, John Murray's people, John Thaxton's people, Junior Witter's people, they could have all gone out and made the Kotelnik fight. They could have backed him into a cul-de-sac so that Amir had nowhere to go. That's the way the business works.